There are some people who, despite looking normal on the outside, carry an energy that feels completely unnatural. When you are around them, something feels off, as if the air shifts and a strange heaviness settles in. It is not always obvious at first, but over time you start to notice a consistent pattern of discomfort, unease, or even outright fear when they are near. This sensation is not just intuition, it is a deep, primal reaction to something that is not of this world. People who carry an unnatural energy often have a way of making a room feel colder or darker, even when the lights are on. Their presence can cause headaches, nausea, or a sudden drop in mood. You might feel fine before seeing them, but after they leave, you are drained, as if something is fed on your energy. It is not just about their attitude or personality. It goes beyond normal human emotions. There is a weight to their presence that feels otherworldly. Some people describe it as a sense of being watched, even when no one is looking. Others say they experience vivid nightmares after interacting with such individuals, as if something lingers even after the encounter is over. Animals and children who are naturally more sensitive to energies often react strongly to these individuals. A dog that is usually friendly may growl or cower in their presence. A baby may cry uncontrollably when held by them. These reactions are not random. They signal that something is deeply wrong. Even electronic devices may act strangely when they are near. Lights flickering, sudden static on a television, or phones malfunctioning without explanation. It is as if their energy disrupts the normal flow of the environment, leaving behind an invisible but undeniable disturbance. Beyond the physical and environmental effects, these individuals also have a way of influencing people's thoughts and emotions in unsettling ways. They can make a person feel confused, paranoid, or even question their own reality. You may catch yourself feeling unusually negative or hopeless after spending time with them. Their words might not be openly threatening, but something about them makes you doubt yourself, your beliefs, or your understanding of the world. This is one of the strongest signs of an unnatural presence, the ability to distort perception without obvious manipulation. Some of these individuals seem to know things they should not. They might bring up personal details about your life that you never shared with them. They might predict things with eerie accuracy, not in a way that feels like coincidence, but as if they have insight beyond normal human intuition. In extreme cases, they may even hint at knowledge of things that no ordinary person should have access to, speaking in ways that feel cryptic or unsettling. Many people who have encountered someone with this unnatural energy report feeling physically paralyzed in their presence. They describe moments where they wanted to speak, move, or even run away, but found themselves completely frozen. This sensation is not just fear. It is as if something is suppressing their ability to react. Some wake up in the middle of the night feeling a weight on their chest, as if an unseen force is pressing down on them. Others feel an overwhelming sense of dread before they even enter a room where such a person is present. While it may be easy to dismiss these feelings as imagination or paranoia, the consistency of these experiences across different people suggests otherwise. A person who carries such an unnatural energy does not have to do anything obvious to create these effects. It is not about how they act, it is about what they are. When faced with someone like this, the best thing to do is trust your instincts and distance yourself. If something inside you is telling you that a person is not what they seem, listen to that warning. There are people in this world who have an uncanny ability to twist reality, bending the truth to serve their own dark purposes. They do not always lie outright. Instead, they manipulate in subtle, insidious ways that make it difficult to distinguish truth from deception. Their words are carefully chosen to create confusion, doubt, and dependence. These individuals are masters of deception, weaving webs so intricate that even the most discerning person can find themselves caught before realizing what has happened. One of the most telling signs of their manipulation is how they make others question their own perception. They engage in gaslighting, a psychological tactic designed to make people doubt their memories, feelings, and even their sanity. They might say something hurtful and then later deny ever having said it. If confronted with evidence, they shift the blame, making the other person feel guilty for even bringing it up. Over time, this constant distortion of reality wears down the victim, making them feel as if they are the problem rather than the manipulator. These individuals also excel at emotional manipulation. They know exactly which buttons to press to elicit certain reactions. They play the victim when it benefits them, making others feel responsible for their suffering. If they want sympathy, they will exaggerate their hardships, making themselves appear weak and helpless, only to turn cold and calculating the moment they get what they want. They are also skilled at using guilt as a weapon, making people feel obligated to do things they would not normally do. They frame their actions in a way that makes others feel unreasonable for resisting, even when the request itself is toxic or harmful. Lies are their currency, and they spend them freely. These lies are often wrapped in just enough truth to seem believable, making it difficult to unravel their deceptions. They may mix falsehoods with real details, ensuring that any attempt to expose them leads only to more confusion. They also shift their stories depending on who they are speaking to, tailoring their words to fit their audience. This makes it hard for people to compare notes and uncover the truth. If caught in a lie, they do not react with guilt or shame, but rather with more deception, quickly crafting a new version of events to cover their tracks. Their manipulation is not limited to individuals, it extends to entire groups. They know how to turn people against one another, planting seeds of doubt and mistrust. They whisper half-truths and twisted stories, making one person appear untrustworthy while positioning themselves as the only reliable source of information. By creating chaos and division, they strengthen their own power, ensuring that no one else is strong enough to challenge them. The people around them become trapped in a cycle of confusion, always second-guessing their own thoughts and feelings. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of these manipulators is how effortlessly they can disguise their true nature. They can appear charming, kind, even selfless. They know how to present themselves in ways that make people want to trust them. Many who fall under their influence do not realize what is happening until it is too late. By the time the truth is revealed, damage has already been done. Relationships are broken, confidence is shattered, and emotional wounds run deep. Escaping their grasp is not easy because they do not let go willingly. When they feel someone pulling away, they intensify their manipulation, using every trick they have to regain control. They might suddenly act remorseful, promising to change, only to revert to their old ways once trust is reestablished. They might resort to threats, intimidation, or even playing on fears and insecurities to keep their hold over someone. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step in breaking free. The moment someone starts to feel as though they are losing their grip on reality around a certain person, it is a warning sign. Trusting one's own instincts and setting firm boundaries are crucial in resisting their influence. True manipulators and deceivers thrive in darkness and confusion. Bringing their actions into the light is the most effective way to break their power. Some people have an almost supernatural ability to drain the energy from those around them. It is not always obvious at first, but over time their presence leaves others feeling exhausted, emotionally depleted, and mentally foggy. It is more than just dealing with someone who is difficult or demanding. This kind of energy drain is something deeper, something that seems to sap the very life force out of those who interact with them. The effects can be so profound that people begin to feel physically weak, unmotivated, or even ill after prolonged exposure. The way these individuals drain energy can vary. Some do it through constant negativity, filling the space around them with complaints, anger, or self-pity. No matter how good a situation is, they will find something wrong with it. They thrive on problems, and instead of seeking solutions, they only want to dwell in the misery. Being around them feels like being stuck in an emotional black hole, where every bit of optimism or joy gets sucked away. Conversations with them feel one-sided, as if they are feeding off the listener's attention, sympathy, or even frustration. Others drain energy through sheer intensity. They demand constant attention, creating a dynamic where the people around them feel obligated to respond to their every need. This could be through excessive talking, creating unnecessary drama, or stirring up conflicts where none existed before. Even when they are not physically present, their influence lingers. They leave others feeling emotionally exhausted, as if they have just run a mental marathon without realizing it. The energy they take does not recharge naturally, and the more time spent around them, the harder it becomes to feel like oneself again. There is also a type of energy drainer who works in more subtle ways. They may not be loud or outwardly negative, but their presence carries a strange heaviness. Being near them makes people feel tense, anxious, or even oppressed for no apparent reason. They have an ability to shift the mood of a room without saying a word. A space that was once lively and warm can suddenly feel cold and uncomfortable when they arrive. People find themselves second-guessing their words, walking on eggshells, or feeling an unexplainable sense of unease. Some individuals who drain energy seem to have an awareness of what they are doing, while others do it instinctively. Either way, the effect is the same. They pull energy from those around them, leaving others feeling weaker and more vulnerable, while they appear unaffected or even more energized. This is why, despite wanting to help or support them, people often find that nothing they do ever seems to be enough. The person draining their energy is never satisfied, always needing more, always pulling in whatever they can get. Physical symptoms often accompany prolonged exposure to these individuals. Frequent headaches, unexplained fatigue, and even sleep disturbances can arise. Some people report experiencing nightmares or waking up feeling more exhausted than when they went to bed. The emotional impact can be just as damaging. Feelings of sadness, irritability, and even mild depression can creep in without a clear cause. Over time, these effects can accumulate, leading to a loss of personal motivation, ambition, or even a sense of identity. Escaping the influence of an energy drainer is not always easy. They often create dynamics that make others feel responsible for their well-being. The guilt of distancing oneself can be overwhelming, but it is necessary for self-preservation. The first step is recognizing the pattern and understanding that it is not selfish to protect one's own energy. Setting boundaries, limiting time spent with them, and engaging in activities that restore energy, such as meditation, exercise, or time in nature, can help counteract their draining effects. Energy is a precious resource, and when someone repeatedly takes without giving back, it creates an imbalance that can be deeply harmful. Learning to recognize and protect against these individuals is crucial. No one should feel obligated to sacrifice their own well-being for the sake of someone who only takes. Protecting personal energy is not just an act of self-care, it is a necessary step in maintaining overall health and happiness. There are people whose presence alone can create an atmosphere of fear and oppression. They do not need to raise their voice or make direct threats. Something about them radiates intimidation, making those around them feel small, powerless, or constantly on edge. Their influence extends beyond simple discomfort. They seem to bring a weight with them, a heaviness that presses down on the spirit, making it difficult to think clearly or feel at ease. This fear is not always logical, yet it is deeply felt, manifesting as an unshakable anxiety whenever they are near. These individuals often use control tactics to maintain dominance over others. They manipulate emotions, exploiting insecurities and weaknesses to make people feel as though they have no choice but to obey. They may criticize, belittle, or undermine, creating an environment where no one feels safe to speak freely. Their words carry an unspoken threat, making those who interact with them second-guess every response. Over time, this constant psychological pressure erodes confidence, leaving people in a state of submission without realizing how they got there. The fear they inspire is not always direct. Sometimes, it is the things left unsaid, the glances, the silence, the tension in the air, that create the most oppression. They may use unpredictability as a weapon, making those around them feel as if they are walking through a minefield, never knowing when an explosion will occur. One moment they may seem calm, even pleasant, and the next their demeanor shifts, filling the space with unease. This unpredictability makes people hyper-aware of their presence, constantly analyzing their every move to avoid provoking a reaction. Even in their absence, the fear they instill lingers. People who have been under their influence often find themselves unable to relax, as if the person's shadow still looms over them. This lasting effect is what makes them so dangerous. The oppression they create is not confined to moments of direct interaction. It seeps into the mind, causing stress, restlessness, and even nightmares. Many victims of this type of individual experience disturbed sleep, waking up with a sense of dread without knowing why. The subconscious continues to process the fear long after the person has left the room. Physical symptoms often accompany this fear. The body reacts as if it is in constant danger, leading to tension headaches, nausea, dizziness, or an overall sense of exhaustion. The stress response is activated so frequently that it becomes the new normal, making it difficult for the person to feel at peace, even in safe environments. This prolonged exposure to fear can weaken the immune system, increase anxiety, and even lead to long-term health issues such as high blood pressure or chronic fatigue. People who create this kind of oppression often thrive on power. They enjoy watching others shrink in their presence, knowing that they hold control over their emotions. They may deny their actions, acting as if they are innocent or misunderstood, making it even harder for their victims to break free. When confronted, they may shift the blame, making others feel as though they are imagining things or being overly sensitive. This gaslighting effect reinforces the sense of helplessness, trapping people in an endless cycle of fear and self-doubt. Breaking free from this kind of influence requires immense strength. Recognizing the pattern is the first step, understanding that the fear is not a reflection of reality, but a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep control. Creating distance, whether physical or emotional, is crucial. Setting boundaries and refusing to engage in their games weakens their hold. Support from others who can offer clarity and encouragement is also essential. No one should have to live under a constant cloud of fear. True freedom comes from recognizing oppression for what it is and reclaiming personal power. The moment someone realizes they no longer have to live in fear is the moment they begin to break free. Some people seem to bring an air of mystery and darkness wherever they go. Their presence is often accompanied by strange, unexplainable occurrences that defy logic. These events may start small, unusual sounds, fleeting shadows, or sudden cold spots in a room, but over time, they grow more intense. Objects move on their own, lights flicker without reason, and an eerie feeling of being watched settles in, making it impossible to ignore. Those who encounter these phenomena often struggle to find rational explanations, yet the unsettling truth remains. Something unnatural is at play. Many who have been around such individuals report a shift in their environment. Electronics malfunction without warning, televisions turn on or off by themselves, and radios pick up static or distorted voices. Clocks may stop working at odd times, or mirrors might crack for no reason. Even animals react strangely, barking at empty spaces or refusing to enter certain rooms. Pets known for their sensitivity to unseen energies often become agitated or afraid in their presence. A once peaceful home can suddenly feel oppressive, as if an invisible force has taken hold of the space. One of the most common signs of unexplained paranormal activity is the feeling of being watched. Even when alone, there is a strong sense that unseen eyes are following every movement. This sensation is often strongest at night, when shadows seem to move in ways that defy natural explanations. Some describe waking up at odd hours, paralyzed with fear, unable to shake the feeling that something is in the room with them. Others experience vivid nightmares, often featuring dark figures or strange whispers, as if something is trying to communicate or instill terror from beyond. The activity can escalate in disturbing ways. Whispers in the dark, indistinct voices calling a name when no one else is around, or the sensation of an unseen presence brushing against the skin are all reported signs of something supernatural. Doors may slam shut on their own, objects may disappear and reappear in unexpected places, or items may fall from shelves without any logical reason. Sometimes, a distinct, unexplained odor lingers in the air, something rotten, sulfuric, or metallic, like blood. This can be particularly unsettling, as such scents are often associated with malevolent entities. People who are sensitive to energies may feel a sudden, overwhelming wave of fear or sadness when in the presence of someone connected to these disturbances. The air might feel heavier, and breathing may become difficult, as if something unseen is pressing down on them. This feeling can extend beyond a single location, following them wherever they go. Some even report physical symptoms, random bruises or scratches appearing overnight, unexplained dizziness, or an unshakable sense of exhaustion. Certain individuals seem to be a magnet for these occurrences. When they leave a place, the disturbances fade, but when they return, the strange happenings resume. It is as if something is attached to them, moving with them from one location to another. Whether they are knowingly or unknowingly carrying this energy, their presence disrupts the normal balance of a space. Some believe these individuals act as conduits for supernatural forces, whether by choice or by some unseen connection to darker realms. For those who experience these unexplained events, the psychological toll can be immense. Living in constant fear, unable to trust one's own senses, creates a deep sense of unease. Skeptics may dismiss these experiences as imagination or coincidence, but for those who have witnessed the impossible, the truth is undeniable. Seeking protection, whether through spiritual cleansing, prayer, or simply distancing oneself from the source, becomes a necessity. The unknown is terrifying because it operates outside the boundaries of human understanding. When faced with unexplainable paranormal activity, the best defense is awareness and caution. Ignoring the signs can lead to deeper entanglement, while acknowledging them allows for the possibility of escape. Whatever force lingers in the shadows, one thing is clear. It thrives on fear, and the more it is fed, the stronger it becomes. There are certain individuals who display an extreme and irrational hatred for anything sacred or spiritually significant. This goes beyond simple disbelief or skepticism. It is an intense, visceral reaction that seems almost unnatural. The moment anything holy is mentioned or brought into their presence, their demeanor shifts. Their anger is not like ordinary frustration. It is deeper, more unsettling, as if something inside them is repelled by the very idea of goodness and divinity. These individuals may react aggressively to religious symbols, prayers, or sacred texts. A simple cross, a holy book, or even a quiet mention of faith can provoke an unexpected and intense response. Some may lash out verbally, ridiculing or mocking anything associated with spiritual beliefs, while others become physically agitated, unable to tolerate the presence of sacred objects. In extreme cases, they may even feel physically ill, experiencing nausea, dizziness, or an overwhelming urge to leave the room when faced with something holy. It is as if an unseen force within them is resisting the very presence of spiritual energy. For some, this hostility manifests in subtle but persistent ways. They may continuously belittle people who practice faith, not out of curiosity or debate, but with an underlying contempt that feels unnatural. They seem personally offended by the idea of sacredness, as if it threatens their very existence. Their hatred is not just directed at religious institutions or organized belief systems, it is aimed at the concept of light, purity, and goodness itself. When they speak of spirituality, their words carry an unusual level of venom, as though they are repulsed by the mere thought of divine influence. One of the most telling signs of this extreme hatred is their reaction to prayers or blessings. While most people, even non-believers, can tolerate or respect a prayer, these individuals cannot. They may interrupt, mock, or try to disrupt the moment, becoming unreasonably agitated. Some even report experiencing visible discomfort, as if something unseen is struggling within them. Their bodies tense up, their expressions darken, and their anger becomes almost uncontrollable. It is not a normal reaction. It is something much more sinister. Animals, particularly dogs and cats, often react strongly to such individuals. A dog that is normally friendly may growl or bark aggressively when they enter a space, sensing something that human eyes cannot see. Even the calmest pets may avoid them entirely, refusing to be near them or acting fearful in their presence. This behavior is significant because animals are known for their heightened sensitivity to energies that people cannot always perceive. If even the purest of creatures sense something wrong, it raises the question, what exactly is being rejected by the sacred? Some individuals who display this hatred also experience an aversion to sacred spaces. They may avoid churches, temples, or places of worship, not out of lack of interest, but because they feel uncomfortable, even threatened by the atmosphere. If forced to enter, they may show signs of distress, sweating, irritability, or a sudden desire to leave. Some describe feeling as if they are being watched, or as if something within them is being burned by an unseen force. This reaction is far from normal. It suggests an internal conflict that goes beyond personal belief. There are also accounts of people experiencing violent outbursts when confronted with spiritual purity. They may act unpredictably, breaking sacred objects, tearing apart religious texts, or shouting profanities as if trying to drown out something they cannot control. These extreme behaviors suggest more than just personal opinions or negative experiences with religion. It hints at a deeper, darker force working within them, one that cannot coexist with holiness. If someone exhibits this level of hatred toward the sacred, it is a warning sign. Whether their condition is psychological, spiritual, or something beyond human understanding, the pattern remains consistent. They cannot stand the presence of light. It is as if goodness itself is an unbearable burden to them, revealing something hidden beneath the surface. The best way to handle such individuals is with caution. Protecting one's own spiritual energy and avoiding unnecessary conflict is essential. Whether one believes in supernatural influences or not, the truth remains the same. There is something deeply unsettling about those who are repelled by all that is holy.